after 50 episodes of RunTok Live, Carolyn McDuff Leavenway has finally watched Without Limits.
I feel like I promised at the end of episode 50 I would watch it, and that night I sat down on my couch and just, for 2 hours, focused on my TV, man.
Well, let's get the review. What
was your thoughts? What do you think? What was it as good as we hyped it up, or did we oversell it?
What happens when three runners
from different parts of the country
with different running stories
all get together?
Pure
RunTok
madness.
So listen in as we talk about all things running related.
And some things that maybe aren't running related.
As it's bound to be a good time. This is
RunTok Live.
What is up, and welcome to episode 51 of RunTok Live, the first of the new era, first episode of the second 50, the new season, if you will. Lot of cool stuff happening here soon. A lot of cool stuff has happened since the last time we recorded, but we want to talk about the biggest news that's been going on in the world right now, and that is that after 50 episodes of RunTok Live, Carolyn McDuff Leavenway has finally watched Without Limits.
Listen,
only took 3 years.
I feel like I promised at the end of episode 50 I would watch it, and that night I sat down on my couch and just, for 2 hours, focused on my TV, man.
Well, let's get the review. What
was your thoughts? What do you think? What was it as good as we hyped it up, or did we oversell it?
No, it was fantastic. I loved it. All the moments you guys talked about, like when Pre walks in and his coach is just ironing, or not Pre, the coach's wife walks in and he's ironing shoes on the waffle maker. And, seeing the evolution of Nike is really cool. And I didn't realize that Prefontaine got that close with his coach to where he would spend, so much time at a cabin with his coach, and like his coach would give him shoes and advice, and it was such a cool movie.
Well, the relationship was actually more rocky than it. Like it was a rough relationship because they were so different, but that's what made it like so special in the end also.
Exactly. And it cracked me up, like the first date Steve had with one of his girlfriends, he bought her shoes and she just shut him down. She was like, "You're not my type."
She shut him down because she saw all the girls in the restaurant had the same shoes on.
Exactly.
I forgot about that part. Yeah.
Yep.
And did you catch on to the scene that me and Chase were talking about when he's telling everybody to cut their hair?
I did. There were a lot of sexual jokes throughout the movie, which surprised me. But I mean, I get it.
There's a bunch of college guys, of course. There. What do you expect?
Exactly. But so it's interesting. So that movie ends with his one girlfriend, and then there's another movie, Prefontaine, which ends with his actual girlfriend at the time. So that was the only thing that I was confused about, is who was he dating by the end? What actually happened when he crashed his car? Like, was he drunk? Was he not? And yeah, it was kind of inconclusive because Steve was driving himself when he, crashed. So.
Yeah, like I said, the way I see it is, I'm not a historian or anything like that, but I have watched both the Prefontaine movies, and to say that Without Limits is considerably better than Prefontaine is not an understatement. So that's the one that I go with. Without Limits is is right, if you ask me, because it's the better movie.
I feel like Without Limits utilizes more Prefontaine content that I believe is more accurate. Like a lot of the quotes in Without Limits are actual Steve Prefontaine quotes. Like, there may be someone out there that can beat me, but they're gonna have to bleed to do it. Or and just the way they depicted his attitude, like the one scene where Prefontaine wouldn't let the little kid beat him at the camp. I was like, that's Prefontaine. He's like, and I don't know, it's a great movie and a great depiction of Prefontaine.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it cracked me up the whole negative split because, I mean, I'm guilty of that. Steve didn't want to negative split his race. I hate negative. I mean, I don't trust negative splitting because I've never given it the chance. And then Steve's coach at the end humbles him. He said, "You could have run 2 seconds faster." And...
Yeah, but Prefontaine, remember, he threw the piece of paper back at him. He goes, "Well, I don't care."
Yep,
exactly. He goes, "Well, you don't care about winning? I don't care about winning unless I have ran flat out from the beginning. Any other way is just plain chicken shit."
Yep.
It's a great, we could talk about this movie for an entire podcast. I love it.
Oh, totally. Who was your favorite, before we move on and talk about something else, who was your favorite, surprise person in the movie? Obviously, there's a lot of people in the movie that were, semi-famous. Maybe a lot of famous people, a lot of semi-famous people, but who was the best one?
Let me look at the cast again.
Oh, come on.
There were a lot of people in there.
There was a lot of people in it.
His coach, for sure. Only because I'm a big fan of the Hunger Games.
Donald Sutherland.
Yep, his coach is like the main guy in the Hunger Games. Like when they get to the district or like the well-off district.
Sure.
Yep. So he was probably my favorite.
And the other coach, Dellinger, he's the guy from Breaking Bad. So.
Yes.
I got my favorite. He didn't have a big part, but Matthew Lillard.
Lillard, yeah,
he's in that movie, right?
Jeremy Sisto. He plays Shorter, Frank Shorter.
Yeah, actually, I got it here.
The dad from the Twilight movies.
Yes.
Played
Billy Burke.
Billy Burke, yeah.
Yep.
Well, he played Kenny or
Kenny Moore, yeah.
Moore, but the actor's name was
Billy Burke. Yeah, he played Kenny Moore, yeah. So there's a lot of good actors in that. My favorite, though, going back to just being the fact that I am a 40-year-old male, growing up as a young man in the 90s. Kimberly, the Pink Ranger, there, her little seduction scene with Steve doing the acrobatics in the hotel room.
How was that even
possible? Pink Ranger, man. Ooh.
And then he freaking got injured because of that.
And then he still runs, which is a true story. He did still run with that injury. How he got the injury, that I don't know what the accurate story is. One movie says he did it while diving into a swimming pool. The better version is he did it in a hotel room with an acrobatic.
I think he did it while he was hooking up with the Pink Ranger. Yeah.
I mean, we'll go with that. We don't need to look that up, Carolyn. We'll just call that a fact.
One thing
that year's national championship was actually in Sunny Grove, California.
So the thing that surprised me is his relationship with Frank Shorter. So in one of the races, they were supposed to take turns leading. So like every 400 meter, one would pull up. And then the last lap, it was every man for himself. And Frank didn't lead his turn. He just kept back and Steve just took off.
Kind of shows you at the end we're all competitors to the core, right?
Yeah. But it was just so cool that, I mean, you don't see that nowadays. Usually it's one person that just goes out front for as long as they can. But that was smart of him for Steve and Frank to take turns leading.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think Keith Brantley told us this, but Frank Shorter was the announcer at the Olympic trials that Keith Brantley was competing in. Like he was the broadcaster.
Yeah.
For that race when we were watching Keith Brantley on that YouTube.
Frank Shorter went on to do a lot of stuff. He was
and his
famous.
band. In fact, I was wearing a Frank Shorter singlet today. You can find his singlets all like you go to any marathon expo now, and they're always like 50% off, and it's just like the 4 colors to choose from. But I buy them all the time because they're affordable and they're comfortable. So I'll tell you another good movie quote that you get from Without Limits. Now, this one I do not know if it's an actual Prefontaine quote, but it's when he was in the hotel room. His coach was in there, and one of the other athletes was in there, and they were trying to tell him he can't run because of the injury to his foot. And Prefontaine says, "We don't know what will happen to me if I run this race, but you know what will happen to me if I don't." And I was like, dude, that's such a beast, like the beast comment right there. And he goes out and wins it.
Yep. And then just collapses.
Yep. Oh, good stuff. Well,
yep. And again, we know it's not the most historically accurate movie, but I mean, it's just such a good movie. It is so good. If you need something to motivate you before the night before a race, like I'm telling you, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, I think I told you we did that in cross country. It was like our team meetup. We would take turns at each other's apartments. It was always Without Limits and spaghetti, and whoever was hosting had to cook the spaghetti.
I did it. It was a me thing. I did it myself, like the night before track meets and stuff in high school and college. But it would alternate between that and my other favorite movie. So,
well, Carolyn,
Transformers the movie from 1987.
I was going to say, which Transformers?
The cartoon movie, the original, the OG cartoon movie. Yes,
I can respect that. Okay, if we were talking about Shia LaBeouf, I've fallen asleep during all of those movies.
What? You can't fall asleep.
I mean, that's pretty bad, but
yeah. I mean, maybe it's just because I watch it at night and I'm like super exhausted, but just every time I've tried to watch 1 and 2.
What about 3, 4, 5, 6? Like there's like
I haven't seen those because I've fallen asleep during 1 and 2, and I was like, I'm not going to give the rest a try if I can't actually sit for one of them.
Well, the most recent ones aren't really connected, right? You could watch Bumblebee, and you can watch, what was the newest one?
Well, now they have Mark Wahlberg was in 2 of them.
Yeah. There was those, but those were sequels to the Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
But then they did Bumblebee, which was like a flashback. It was a prequel, more or less. And then they did another prequel, which was it Rise of the Beasts? Rise of the Beasts. So they're not really connected to the story per se. You can watch those; they're kind of one-off. And then they did Year One. That was just like last year. It was a cartoon. I haven't actually watched it yet, but I hear it's really good.
Yeah, really good reviews. They have a sequel.
Yeah, it's got a lot of good actors in it doing the voices and stuff. So,
well,
anyway, not running related, but Transformers. I mean, always kick ass.
Well, technically, there's a G.I. Joe crossover, and there's running in G.I. Joes. So,
I mean, there's running in Transformers, but if we're going to use the Tom Cruise definition, Shia LaBeouf runs in every Transformers movie. So every Transformers movie is a running movie.
Yeah, he runs and screams in every Transformers movie. It's just him screaming and running. Well, I'm proud of you for watching the movie, Carolyn. We're both proud of you.
Yeah, sorry it took so long.
Hopefully it's a step up from the other movie we recommended that you watched. So
yeah, I mean, y'all have redeemed yourselves.
Okay.
Just saying.
You have not redeemed yourself from Idiocracy. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a great movie, and if you didn't,
it's just as good, but in a different category. That's where I put it. They're both like here and here in different columns.
Okay.
I don't know if I would go that far, but yeah.
It's up there. It's up there.
So anyway, in the real nonfiction running world, what do we got going on?
We got Boston coming up, man.
Boston's coming up. You're wearing the jacket before even doing the race, Jake.
Listen,
Are you afraid that maybe something might happen now that
Listen.
you have just jinxed the crap out of yourself?
there is a unspoken rule that you're not supposed to wear your Boston Marathon jacket till you've finished the Boston Marathon. I'm a rebel. Listen, what can I say? I'm a rebel, and
But you said it was an unspoken rule. However, you spoke it. Therefore, it's no longer an unspoken rule, not making it a rule, making it not a rule at all.
Okay, I should say this. There is a community of individuals out there that believe it is bad luck to wear the Boston Marathon jacket before you finish the Boston Marathon. There's a much smaller community of people out there that don't care and will just wear it. So I haven't worn this out in public. I literally only wore it, like I tried it on and I've worn it here in the house for the podcast, and that's it.
I would think that the number of people that don't care would actually outweigh the people that do care.
You'd be surprised. Are you in any of the Facebook Boston Marathon groups at all, or either of you?
I was like the year that I ran, but I think like do they do a new one every year? I think they got some that are new every year, and they got some that are just continuous, right?
Yeah, I think I'm in one that's, well, now it says 2025, so I don't know if they just changed the title on it or what.
Maybe that's the case.
Yeah, but yeah, I've seen a couple people post pictures of them like out in public with their jackets, and then the ridiculed comments that they get from that picture. Like, oh, we might as well just DNF now. Like, it's like, all right, man, it's a little harsh. It's a little harsh.
I mean, I don't know about that, but I mean, if you thought 2018 was bad, then you may have a fun race then this weekend. I don't know.
I don't think I can do any worse than I did in 2018. I don't think the conditions can be any worse than they were in 2018.
Dude, you better you're wearing the jacket before the race started. You're begging. You're damning the gods right here on the show. Like, this is going to be recorded and out there forever. Like, people are going to be quoting this very episode from now until the end of time.
Yeah, but are we posting this before
because
Boston?
An earthquake is going to erupt underneath Boston this weekend whenever you're running the race because you said this.
So far, Monday is looking just overcast, 40 to 43 degrees for the cool, 56 for the high.
That's awesome.
We run at 10 a.m., so it's going to be more in that like 50 range. It's going to be like, and then there's nothing before like Sunday, like Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday. Like, there's nothing that looks like it could be a day or two off either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, I was gonna say, keep testing fate. Go ahead, just keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, if we could wait to post this after Boston, that'd be great. Just in case we need to edit a few things out, you know?
Yeah.
We're gonna come back and be like, so good news is Jake's safe. Bad news is Boston's underwater.
The next podcast. Apparently, you probably shouldn't wear your jacket before you finish the Boston Marathon.
That's what happens when you wear the jacket before the race.
Oh, man. Carolyn, you'll face these conditions one of these days, and you'll have to make a choice. Do you wear the Boston Marathon jacket that you paid half a paycheck to, or do you just go with the flow and wear it after you finish?
So for both my Chicagos, I've waited until after. So, I mean, that's different, but still. Like,
my Chicagos, I didn't even buy it till I was there. That's the thing. Whereas here, like, you have the option to buy them well in advance. Mm-hmm. And you can get them from Runner's Warehouse, which is where I got this from, was Runner's Warehouse.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about it, like, getting it there. That's why I did it. And then it came in. I was like, well,
that makes sense.
Let me just see what it looks like.
Yeah.
It looks good, Maybe a couple Zoom work videos in this isn't going to hurt anybody. let's just do it. And now here we are on a podcast.
how those Zoom meetings going. It's like this? Yeah, this is just my Boston jacket. Don't pay attention to me or anything.
Right? They're like, Jake, why can't we see your face?
Marathon
I'm like,
runner.
I don't know, guys. It's the camera angle. It's weird. Something's wrong with the camera. The camera only faces down now.
It's that old joke. How do you know if a marathon runner's done a marathon recently? They'll tell you.
They'll let you know, trust me. Oh, man. Carolyn, what shirt are you wearing? What's that say?
It's my speech therapist shirt.
SLP.
Yeah, speech language pathologist.
What's it stand for?
Speech language pathologist.
I should know that. I don't know why I don't know that.
Usually I'm in a running shirt, but I finished my run outdoors, threw on the first shirt I saw, and here we are.
Speaking of hero, guys, take note for everybody watching this on YouTube. The three of us are all wearing hats.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, if you notice at the very beginning, I just quickly flipped my hat over because you guys were both wearing your hat frontwards.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, I can't do this backwards hat thing. That's just wrong. So, frontwards hat. There we go.
Yeah, I'm rocking my dad hat tonight, so that's why I got it on frontwards.
Okay. What do you got? What are we rocking, Carolyn?
Just regular old gray hat.
Just regular hat.
Old gray hat. You should start a company like that.
Just regular old gray hat.
Just regular old gray stuff.
Just the hats that no one else wants. It's like the Seinfeld episode with muffin tops. No one wants the muffin bottoms, so just selling muffin tops. I don't know, in my head that relates somehow, but
it does indeed. Okay, so back to Boston. I'm looking at the elite field. Pretty much any elite runner you can think of is running Boston.
Well, yeah, they all heard that the cultural runner was going to be there.
They did.
And they're like, we're
RunTok Live is going to be at this thing? What?
Mm-hmm.
We're not missing this. This is a small window. We're not missing this.
Yeah. So bring a Sharpie with you, Jake, so you can sign the elite runners' bibs. Okay?
Yep. No, I'm going to... Actually, what's going to happen is I'm going to have a film crew on e-bikes riding next to me the whole way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm supposed to throw that in or not.
You better hope this is a good Boston then, because you may never do one again.
Oh, man. Well, I don't think said runner will be an issue at this one, because I think they're not banned from... They're just banned from the New York ones.
Yeah, and he's now a hybrid athlete.
Yeah, well, he's doing, and actually, you know what, that's something we could talk. So he's doing I saw he's been doing some high rock competitions. Now, I will tell you, I have a friend here that recently did one. He actually listens to our podcast. His name is Matt. He did the high rock, the last one that was in Houston. And he praises it. So they're all over in Europe. They don't do a lot of them here in the U.S., but I think it's going to be the next big thing. He thinks it's going to be the next big thing. I have zero desire to do it because I'm built like a twig and I can't even do a pull-up, so it's never going to happen. But it looks like tough. Like it looks legit, but I just don't know a lot about it outside what my friend told me.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely it's definitely going to be a feat of physical, endurance for sure. I don't know. It's probably going to be the next big thing. Yeah, it's kind of been blowing up for the past year and a half or so. My chiropractor went to DC last month and did one. But I think it's more than likely, and I don't know, I could be wrong here. I hope I am, but I think it's going to be like the Spartan races or the Tough Mudders or something like that. Like it'll come and go. At the end of the day, it's just another way to spice up running a little bit, which I'm not mad that people are trying to do. That's not, no harm on that. There's enough stuff for people to do. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I just see it being more like those things.
Yeah, I think it's going to build up for a while. I don't think it's going away tomorrow, right? Like
Well, they've yeah, like you said, it's been a big thing for a long time. They have like world championships and things already.
Yeah.
One of the guys that I met at Chicago was a national high rocks champion. He's a world championships qualifier. Mason something, I don't know. He's been hanging out with Jeremy Miller a lot lately, which is annoying, but whatever. But yeah, he's a first form guy, and he does a lot of high rocks. He actually on New Year's Eve he did like the equivalent of 13 high rockses in a row or something crazy like that. I don't know. It was wild.
Yeah, it's definitely not on my like. I'll do a trail ultra before I do.
I do. Yeah, I think I would do 100-miler before I would do a high rocks.
Yeah, not for everybody. What about you, Carolyn? Like, does the idea of strength and
I could be lying about that.
appeal to you?
I'm in the same boat you are, Jake. Like, I'm a twig. Like, I can't do. I mean, some of the things we'd be able to do, but like I don't know, sled pulls or I don't know, wall ball things. I just don't have the strength for it.
Yeah, my daughter, who's 4, constantly reminds me that I'm super strong, and I tell her, I was like, I'm glad you think that now, but once you're like 13, 14, you're gonna realize that Dad's kind of a wimp. I can run far. That's about it.
Now, something that I do hope becomes a big thing here soon in the coming years that we had the debut event for just last weekend, Grand Slam track. Did you guys catch any of that?
I did. I watched the men's 1500 between Nagoose, Cole Hawker, who else?
It was the 800 guy. What was his name? Wenyami or something like that.
Yes.
That ended up winning the 1500 because that was the short distance series. So it's an 800 and a 1500, and an 800 guy came out and won the 1500, and then he came back and got second in the 800 to win the category as a whole, though. So he was the short distance winner because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was really cool.
So I'm looking at the point totals right now. I see. Oh, so men's long distance, Grant Fisher is winning currently.
Yep. He won the 5,000, I think.
He did, yes.
And then got third in the 3,000 because the guys in the 3,000 who got first and second, like they took off. Mm-hmm. But the way that the announcers were talking, like he had it figured out in his head. He knew that all he had to do was get third place to win the event. So he was just trying to go for the overall dub rather than the double win.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like overall right now in the men's race group, it is an American, Kenny Bednarek. Did I say that right?
Bednarek, yes.
Oh yeah, Kenny. Yeah, Kung Fu Kenny. He won the short sprints. He took both 100 and 200 in those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's currently, top. Like he's the top performer right now. That point, as far as point totals go.
And then Allison DeSantos, he swept the long hurdles. He's got 24 points also.
Yeah, 24. I don't know what the DS. So it looks like it says Kenny 48.00 total points 24. And then the reason why Allison is second is because it's got 35.00 with 24 total points. I don't know what that DS stands. Let me see. There's a little question mark here. Oh, dominant score is a tiebreaker to compare performance across race groups like sprints and hurdles when competitors have the same total points. Mm. So Sydney McLaughlin is in first on the female side because she has the highest dominant score.
She dominated both of her events, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of cool how they do that. That's because I've never.
Yeah. And I was thinking about today too, like the way that they've got those categories broken up. I know we talked about it a little bit when it was announced, but like the 800, 1500 to me would seem like the hardest one like the hardest one to be able to double in, right? Because how many 800 runners do you see in a 1500? You see some 1500 runners drop down a lot, but you don't see it vice versa as much. But like all the other events, like long sprints, 100, 200 guys, you see all the time. Even long sprints, short sprints and long sprints, the 200, 400, still same. You had like Michael Johnson ran 200 and 400. 3,000, 5,000. Those are, you got those distance guys. But the 1,500 and 800 is almost two different, animals right there. So that's a difficult one for somebody to really go out and take like that.
Well, yeah, and you kind of just brought it up. Like most 800 runners are, for the most part, strictly 800 runners.
Right.
And most 1,500 runners are, for the most part, strictly 1,500 runners. But then you get the 3,000, the 5,000, even the 10,000. They do all races, or at least at some point will do one of those three races.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah. So this is more kudos to Wanyoni for being able to, the 800 guy who won the 1,500 and then came back and he got second in the 800 to win the short distance events.
Didn't he run in the Olympics?
Mm-hmm.
That's what. Okay,
I think he was the silver medalist in the 800 and the I think the Olympic, the first and second in the 800 in Grand Slam track was gold and silver at the Olympics.
Makes sense. And it's interesting. So this was technically the start of a lot of their seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be fun to see, how much progress they make, who ends up, dominating at each event. So
yeah, it was pretty interesting. I mean, you can tell that it's definitely in its infancy as far as like, being an organized event, but definitely a lot of promise. Like it's a very cool premise that they have there.
I think we talked about it before. I would love to see a alumni event of some sort, like not necessarily a Masters event, right? But like an alumni of all former Olympic 800 runners, all former Olympic 1,500 runners, over the last 4 Olympics or something. Like obviously you're not going to have someone from the 1948 Olympics compete against someone from the 1996 Olympics, but get like a Nick Simmons, a Ryan Hall, even a Galen Rupp, Mo Farah, like some of these more recent retirees. And I know Galen Rupp isn't retired. Nothing's been announced, but just get them together and throw them in a race.
Yeah, I think that like with a lot of these guys, and not all of them, but a lot of them, they've just been doing this for so long that they're actually, their bodies are pretty well done. Like they're toasted. Ryan Hall quit early and kind of took care of his body so he could come back and do some fun stuff for sure. Nick Simmons has been able to stay in good enough shape, but like, they're in good shape physically maybe, but probably not to like go out and run a race, which is probably why you don't have like a whole lot of, age groups at that elite level.
I still think, and I think I saw one of Nick Simmons' YouTube videos. It was a road mile, but he could still go out and go like 4:45, even 4:30 probably, like no problems. Ryan Hall, probably the same. Granted, he's a little bit bigger, more muscular, and I do think I don't want to say it's funny. I think it's, I don't know, just worth noting that some of these runners that did retire early, Ryan Hall, Nick Simmons, they went on to do more strength stuff, right? Like I know Nick Simmons still ran, Ryan Hall coaches and still runs, but they focused more on strength and less on running after they retired. It was about getting their bodies muscle.
Right. Because they realized that, especially Ryan Hall, right? Like that was the reason he retired. was because his body's testosterone levels were completely depleted, virtually nothing. His body had stopped making testosterone.
Yep.
So yeah, that's why he quit. He retired early from running and started lifting so that his body would become healthy again.
Someone said it to me. I don't know who, but I say it often. Running is the best, worst exercise for you. So it really, I mean, there's, for as much good as it does, there is bad to running. Like no matter how you look at it, no matter how good you are.
Mm-hmm.
So, in fact, I just wrote down a list, not just now, earlier today, of not supplements, but vitamins that I need to start like investing in and taking. Tell me if you guys do this. I'm going to start doing beetroot. I've never done beetroot before. Iron, I've been on and off on, but I need to be more consistent with it. So I'm going to be doing iron, tart cherry, HMB, and taurine. Like those are the 5 that have been the most consistently recommended to me by high level runners, including friends, like friends that I trust that do it. So I think I'm gonna get more like into the vitamin sources that I'm taking, especially as I'm getting older.
Why taurine?
Taurine, now I don't want to do a whole thing on it, but from what I'm told, it helps your oxygen, like your ability to take in more oxygen or something like that, or oxygen performance. There was a reason for all of it. Beetroot had a very specific reason. Iron, is something that I think all distance runners take at some point, regardless. HMB was recovery, along with protein, whey protein, which I won't take because I don't like whey protein of any kind so far. I'll have to look it up. I don't want to look it up, but I'll have to give you guys a more in-depth reason for all of them because I'm still kind of doing my research on it before I make final decisions.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Carolyn.
You're good. It's interesting that you say that because I've actually tried to double my protein. I'm on a multivitamin, so I get iron, magnesium, and stuff, but I've heard upping your protein really, really helps.
So here's what it says. It says taurine can be beneficial for runners. Studies suggest that taurine supplementation can improve endurance performance, potentially by reducing muscle damage and inflammation and by enhancing fat metabolism. It also regulates your blood glucose levels during exercise, improving oxygen intake.
Okay. I've always understood it as something that was negative on your blood sugar levels. So that was kind of, that one was the biggest one that threw me for a loop. Everything else that you listed off, I think, is pretty traditional stuff. I mean, a lot of people talk about the different benefits of different things. I know for me, right now, of course, there's a lot of information about creatine coming out right now. Like the studies on creatine have been just overwhelmingly positive in the last 15, 20 years. Not just for, and it started out with like muscle recovery, and then it's gone into joint and ligament supplementation. And even in recent years, they've been talking about the mental aspects of it and the benefits that it has on your mental acuity day to day. So, I've been doing kind of mid dosing on creatine, doing 5 to 10 grams a day for probably the last month or so. But I actually watched a video yesterday of a guy who was not an athlete. He was just talking about it. He was a creatine, I guess, expert or whatever. But he was talking about like super dosing on like 20 to 25 grams of it for energy. And then like the benefits that it has cognitively and how it enhances not just your energy throughout the day, but your ability to sleep at night. So this morning I did 20 grams of creatine. So we'll see how that works out for me. I know one thing throughout the day today, it's not that I had more energy per se, but I wasn't like yawning as much. I wasn't like, I didn't get like groggy or anything like that. So, creatine's a big one for me right now. Of course, I supplement with protein. I don't know about you, Jake. Do you just do whey protein in water or milk or?
So I've tried several. This is where I say I haven't found the whey protein that I've liked taste-wise. That's really what it comes down to, is the taste version of it. I've done dairy versions of whey protein. I've done water-based whey proteins. The closest I can get is when I do like I'll do breakfast smoothie, and I could put like whey protein powder in a smoothie mixed with like fruit and other stuff to kind of abstract from the whey protein taste that's in there. So it's more, I'm real finicky with the taste. That's really what it is for me.
How are you with yogurt?
So I know where you're going with it, and some yogurts I can do. The idea of plain yogurt grosses me out, but like a fruit-based yogurt, I could do.
Mm-hmm. So right now, this week, for my protein supplementation in the morning, I'm getting. So I meal prepped this at the beginning of the week. So this is what I'm about to throw out there is actually 5 servings. But I took the KitchenAid mixer, and I took an entire 32-ounce tub of vanilla Oikos yogurt, the triple pro, whatever, the super protein kind. Dumped that in there, a bar of 1/3 fat cream cheese. And the only reason I get the 1/3 fat is because it's softer, so it mixes up a lot easier. And then I put 5 scoops of, First Form Level 1. You guys know I'm a First Form guy, so I do First Form Level 1. This week it's strawberry milkshake mixed with some chocolate chips and some chia seeds. So all in all, I'm getting probably 25 to 30 grams of protein just with that little yogurt bowl that I'm having each day. So that, again, that's 5 servings right there. Yeah. So that's one way. And then the other way is my protein ice cream every night. I get 1 scoop, about about 25 grams of protein every night in my protein ice cream, which is level 1 vanilla ice cream flavored protein. So it's a great thing to make ice cream with.
What about you, Carolyn? Are you supplementing at all?
Yes. So I also use the Oikos, the protein, the 20 grams of protein Greek yogurt. And then all of my lunches, I make sure they have at least, I think it's like 18 to 20 grams of protein. And then at night, I have the individual Kodiak cake mixers. So I switch between blueberry muffin and then chocolate brownie every night. One of them has 10 grams of protein, the other has 12. So yeah, it's been wild because I didn't track any of this before I started marathon training, and it's now a science, and it's amazing how good you feel when you're actually tracking and eating more. And so
another thing that I've implemented into my diet, I wouldn't call it's actually in an effort to reduce supplementation, but I'm eating a can of sardines a day. I never liked sardines like growing up. I decided to give them a try again recently. I don't find them to be that bad. So I'm cutting out a fish oil supplement and eating a can of sardines every day.
Oh, go ahead, Carolyn.
Well, I was just going to say the fish oil pills now are huge. So I don't know how people are swallowing those.
Yeah, and you can get your omegas, your EHAs, your DHAs in a variety of different places too. So like, a lot of nuts and things like that, walnuts especially, you can get good omegas in. And like I said, I because of that reason, Carolyn, that's why I tried to go with some fish, and sardines are just the cheapest one that I like. Tuna's cheap too, but it's got a ton of mercury in it. But sardines are the cheapest ones to go with, I think.
We mentioned, or you mentioned, Carolyn, kind of going off subject, but kind of not. Kodiak, the protein. So
Yes.
did you guys know? I think we mentioned this before. Did you guys know they were on Shark Tank? Back in back in 2014, they appeared on Shark Tank as one of the like earlier editions of it, and they didn't get a deal. They pitched it was $500,000 is what they were seeking for 10% equity, which made it a $5 million valuation. And they didn't get a deal. Do you know how much the company is worth now, today?
How much?
Over $240 million. So,
I believe it.
It's like, man, you guys missed out. Could have made some money.
Oh my God. I mean, that stuff is so good. And I have a friend, she's the Argentina marathon champion, and she makes their muffins every single week. So
yeah, I have a box of their pancake mix in my pantry right now.
So good. And it doesn't taste heavy, because that was my concern. I was like, oh shoot, the texture is going to be off. But no, it's like eating a regular muffin or brownie or pancake.
Yeah, I was eating it pretty consistently there for a while, but I ended up switching to just instant oats with protein powder in them instead, just to kind of conserve some money. But yeah, Kodiak, that's a great product. So that's good for them. It is a delicious product, right? Like it's protein based oatmeal, cookies, brownies, everything. So it's good to see something like that really making it big.
I just love that they should be on. They do those YouTube episodes like the deals the Sharks missed out on. Like this should be one of them. You know.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
So there was another Shark Tank, and I forget what it's called, but it's the couple, and they did get a deal. The couple that were on there, they were from Orlando, and it was I think it's called Night Shift, and it's the lights, like these special lights that hook to your shoelaces when you run. But they're not like just, the flashing lights. They're like, they look like actual flashlights, and they shine like a really bright light around you so you can see puddles in front of you and all that stuff. I think it was called Night. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was called Night Shift or Night Run, Night something like that. And they did get a deal. It was $250,000 for 20% equity, so not a ton, right? But it was cool. They made the news here, the local-ish news. That was a couple years ago. Shark Tank has some running stuff on there every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. And I think they're still filming, aren't they?
Well, I know Mark Cuban's not on it anymore.
Yeah.
I think they had different. I think they're all different in that aspect. But going back to supplements real quick, another one that I've been hearing a lot of good things, a lot of good science has been coming out about it, has been glutamine, and that's one that it's supposed to be really good for your recovery. I know a lot of the influencers that I watch that are like high-level marathoners have really cranked up their use of glutamine, and I actually got mine in from First Form today, so I'll start using it tomorrow. But yeah, that's one that I've been hearing a lot about.
That's what I got today. I got a feed box in the mail today.
Oh yeah,
ooh, yeah.
Got some SIS gels in there.
Well, they sent me this for free. It's the lemon lime flavored isotonic SIS gel.
Just like a single one
in the box. I didn't order this, but this is what I actually ordered. Was the Beta Fuel, the orange flavored. So I'm trying to stock up for Boston because I'm down to like my last 3 actual pack or like pouches of the strawberry lime Beta Fuel, which is my favorite flavor. And I went on to order some more, and they're sold out everywhere. I can't find a single, like not even single packs of them. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna try this orange flavor now, and it's the only one you got left, which is probably a bad sign because nobody's buying it and everything else is sold out. So stay tuned. I'll let you know if this gives me issues or not.
Surely not. It's just different flavor, right?
Different flavor. And orange probably isn't going to be bad. Like,
I mean, whatever keeps you away from those Martin gels that they got on the Boston course.
what's a Morton mix? I got my whole like goodie drawer here. These things I love. The goo soup
Those
waffles.
are-
Goo waffles.
Yeah, especially this flavor, the campfire s'more one.
I'm actually an ambassador for Honey Stinger.
That's right, you are.
I forget about it all the time. It's like one of those things that you never get out of. And like I get emails like every waffle Wednesday. Yeah, Honey Stinger, if you guys are listening to this, I take your ambassadorship very seriously, and I do like your Honey Stinger waffles.
Seemed like you were reading that from a piece of paper. I also have a bunch of these Z bar protein bars.
Mm.
They're technically for kids, but I like them.
No, those are good. Yeah, I like them. They got some pretty good fiber in them.
Yep. And a little snack bar, a bunch of liquid IV in there, all kinds of stuff. But yeah, this was random. I don't know if that was on accident. I like to think it was on purpose, and they're like, "Here,
Just like, hey,
you're a
this
loyal
guy,
customer."
this guy likes those SIS gels. Give him a free one. Freebie. I bought, so I've been reducing my caffeine intake. And one of the ways that I did that was I switched my afternoon coffee to mushroom coffee. So I signed up for Everyday Dose, which is a mushroom coffee company, and they do like the only reason I signed up for it to begin with was it came with like one of the hand whiskers for free, and they had a bunch of free stuff in their welcome pack. So I signed up for it, got a bunch of free stuff, didn't cancel it. So they send me more free stuff the second month, and then now they're sending me like Yeti cups this month, and I'm just like, if you guys send me free stuff every month, and I guess I'll just keep getting your coffee. But it's not bad. I mean, I don't know. I know you're not a coffee guy, Jake. I'm a coffee guy. Like, and that's what I was looking for, was something that was less caffeinated but still tasted like coffee.
Yeah, and then mushroom coffee, like that just doesn't sound. I don't know.
I mean, again, I'm gonna go full on Gen Z here, I guess, but there's a lot of benefits to mushrooms coming out in science these days. A lot of health benefits AG1, right? AG1 is packed with all kinds of mushrooms that are good for your focus, your brain. I mean, just all kinds of things. Mud water. If anybody drinks mud water, that's essentially just a bunch of mushrooms. Yeah.
Honestly, Chase, if I ever show up to your house and I walk in the door and you're like, "Jake, would you like a cup of mushroom coffee?" I'm gonna be like, "All right, I'm out. See you later."
Yeah, just leave.
No, I'll just offer you a cup of coffee. You won't know the difference, and then later on you'll be like, "What is this?" I'll be like, "That's mushroom coffee," and you'll be like, "Okay."
Well, I don't like coffee. I've never tasted
you don't like coffee
coffee
anyway. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard you're not the first person to say that about. I've also heard mushroom tea.
Look, I'm not like this big advocate for mushroom coffee. I'm not trying to tell you that it's changing my life or anything like that. I'm just saying I signed up for it. It's not bad, and I keep getting free stuff from them.
Yeah.
Not free. I mean, I'm paying $30 a month for a bunch of coffee and some other stuff, but it's really just supposed to be for coffee.
So I'll not to kind of change the subject and take it sort of back to Boston, but I have a question. Boston's a big race, right? No doubt about that. There's lots of big races out there. Costs a lot of money to do, takes lots of planning and lots of training to do it.
Sure.
If you're this is sort of a debate. If you're a family man, you have a wife, a daughter, a father-in-law living with you, and one of them gets sick a week leading into Boston Marathon. Would you be the loving husband and say, "Oh, who cares? I still want to sleep next to you. I'm still going to cuddle with you. We're going to be fine. Let's do this"? Or would you be the husband or wife, in your case, Carolyn? It's like, you know what? I'm going to sleep on the couch until you're done coughing.
That's what we do.
So, quick, possibly unrelated follow-up question. When's the last episode your wife listened to?
She only listens to it when like we go out, because I'll plug it in when we're going to like driving to Disney, and it's a 2.5 hour drive. We're like, oh, we're gonna listen to some RunTok the whole way down.
Okay, and just want to make sure that I know what we're signing up for here, depending on how we answer these questions.
No, this is a situation where she was sick and is over it, but now my daughter is sick. And normally, like, my daughter, probably 4 nights out of the week, will like come into our bed in the middle of the night and sleep with us. And now I'm like, I'm gonna put you right back in your bedroom. You stay over there. I'll stay over here.
Yeah, I would just
Yeah,
I'm
that's
purposely trying to keep my distance, and I feel especially bad about it because I'm going to be gone for a week, and it's the longest I've ever been gone from my daughter. And I'm about to be gone for a full week because I'm doing the Minneapolis trip right afterwards, right? So I do feel bad, and I'm trying to spend as much quality time with her as I can this week, but also like putting a balloon in between us and saying like, no hugs, no kisses, okay?
Could you also like wear a mask?
I could.
Just so you can hang out with her?
I'm still hanging out with her. I'm just
not sleeping.
Not like
not
breathing on each other, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm still doing all my normal dad things. I'm just like, when I talk to her, I'm like, oh, I love you too. Like, just kind of, okay. So I just really don't want to get sick. I've invested so much. More so, it's the money that I'm concerned about. It's like, dude, this is not cheap. I got to get my money's worth here.
I mean, I think you're certainly justified in wanting to not get sick before Boston.
That's all it boils down to. I just don't want to get sick. But I also feel like a horrible husband and a horrible dad.
I mean, me, at least you got like options. I ran in 21. I had to be vaccinated. I had to make sure I had a no good test like the week before I went and all this other stuff. If I would have gotten sick, or if I would have been around anybody sick, I probably wouldn't have been able to go.
So we remember Jeff Tomaszewski? We had him on here, right? Mm-hmm. And me, Jeff, a couple other guys here locally, we formed an elite masters team to compete in the USATF National Masters Grand Prix Series. So we went to Syracuse. We did the Masters National Half Marathon Championships up there as a team. We came in second overall. And we went to Atlanta, and we did the 5K National Masters 5K USATF Championships. Now, that was when COVID was still like a thing, and you had to get tested and do all this stuff. And we went there. You had to get tested the day before. It had to come out, negative. You'd show your results. Well, Jeff tested, and it came out inconclusive. And they said, well, you're still good to run. And they let him run. And we did the thing, and we ran pretty good. And I think we would have placed in the top 3 or 4. However, when Jeff crossed the finish line, a race official came up to him, pulled him off to the side, and said, hey, you've been disqualified because your test results ended up coming back positive. And he was like, what? He's like, that's the dumbest thing. So he got disqualified, which he was our, I think, number 2 runner for that race. So our number 2 score was deducted out. And we ended up kept coming in 5th place overall as a team. And he was so mad. He went, we drove home. We were all in the same car together. We drove for 5 hours up there and 5 hours back. None of us got sick. None of us, it wasn't a thing. He was still kind of working on the military base at the time. He went back. He did 2 tests. They all tested negative. He sent them in to try to dispute it. They wanted nothing to do with it, and to this day, we have a disqualification on our team because of a faulty test result that even though he was told he could run initially.
Dark time.
Dark times indeed. I'm so glad that was dumb. Anyways, that was a vent. I'm sorry.
No, I get it. Like I said, I had to go through all that stuff to run Boston, and that's just kind of that's the frustrating thing about it, was just like Boston. Obviously, that was the lifelong dream for me. So, I was going to do whatever I needed to do to run Boston, but looking back, it's like I probably would have done the same thing, but it's just kind of, it makes you think.
Carolyn, I hope this doesn't make you rethink Boston, because both of our first Bostons apparently were not the best experience.
No, wait. I don't want this to. That was a sour part of my Boston experience. My actual Boston, like in Boston, and the race itself, like I didn't have the best race in the world, but the experience was unmatched. Like
That's
I
your
will
intro,
never.
right? Your intro video on RunTok, that's you crossing the Boston line, right?
Yeah. That was it. It was such a great experience, and it was hot that day, but I didn't have to deal with the weather like Jake did. I was there with one of my best friends who got to run Boston with me. So yeah, the only bad thing about the day of Boston was at the end when my wife couldn't find me for a while, and there was a big wind blowing, and I was freezing. And I didn't have any. I didn't check a gear bag or anything, so I thought she was going to be there with my stuff, and she wasn't. So
yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do about gear check, because my wife won't be there.
I think I've just gotten to the point now where I'm gear checking all the time, and it's nothing against my wife or anybody else that's ever kept gear for me. It's just, at least then I know where it's at, and I've got a solid plan. I don't have to worry about, that person got stuck in traffic, or this person's with so and so and her husband's 8 miles behind me, or anything like that.
Well, I feel like, especially in these bigger cities, these unknown cities, if you're not familiar with it, there's certain items that you need to have with you, potentially, especially if you're solo and you don't have family there, to just survive, and potentially get you back to the hotel or wherever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Carolyn, you're being quiet.
No, I'm just listening. I gotta qualify for Boston first, y'all.
That'll happen.
And then I think I want a fun run. So, like, when I got into New York, I told myself I was just gonna fun run, Just have a blast.
Well, I think you'll have fun either way.
Exactly.
Yeah. But like that, it's I don't know. I'm not against running it for fun, but I think Boston's a sneaky good course to PR on if you don't go out too fast. If I could do it all over again, I think I could really, really run a good time on there.
And I saw you're officially marathon training, right, Chase? No, you've done some long runs, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I did 18 the other day.
Yeah.
It's 18 miles, I'm not training for anything. I'm just a casual run.
Like, that's a choice.
Like running.
That's ridiculous.
Throw on an audiobook, go out and have a good time.
Throw on some RunTok Live and just go with it.
Just coast, man.
Real quick, guys, and I know we're almost at the end of our time. I don't remember if any of you guys are NBA fans, but it's NBA playoff season. play-in tournament's actually going on tonight, and then my team plays in their play-in tournament tomorrow, Sacramento Kings. And they play the Dallas Mavericks, your neck of the woods, Carolyn.
That's my team.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but they're gonna lose tomorrow. So
Okay, I'm honestly sorry for any Mavericks fans listening, but I'm fine if the Kings beat the Mavericks this year because
I'm surprised the Mavs even have fans anymore after what they did this year.
After that trade,
Holy crap!
And then Kyrie Irving goes out for the season. You're down to like 7 players on your roster now.
Trade away the franchise star.
Well, the best part was the comeback game, right? When Dallas came into town and he just goes off the chain. Like, wow.
He was just on the Mavericks GM was just on a podcast yesterday. I can't remember what podcast. I was just watching the clips of it, and he was just, or it wasn't a podcast. It was a news conference. That's what it was. And all the reporters just kept asking him the same questions, like what was going on here? What was going on here? Just kept going. Defense wins championships. Defense wins championships. Defense wins.
Yeah. Let's trade the young star that still has 12 to 15 years ahead of him for Anthony Davis, who's injured for half the season for the last 3 years and's got about 3 years left of playing time.
But didn't even make it through an entire game with.
But defense wins championships. Now you got a 3-year window, buddy, and you better win every single game that he plays, which is only about half the season.
I mean, yeah, you better be good at defense because you're going to be defending your decision to trade away Luka Doncic for the rest of your life.
So what I love about this is this is going to be Kings versus Mavericks, and the big story when Anthony Davis played on the last Los Angeles Lakers is that Domantas Sabonis, our center, has never lost to Anthony Davis. So every single game Domantas Sabonis has been matched up against Anthony Davis, even back to his New Orleans days. Domantas Sabonis' team has won. And now it's Domantas Sabonis going up against Anthony Davis. And for whatever reason, he just outmatches Anthony Davis every time. So I'm excited.
Such a weird stat.
I love basketball. I love basketball. All right, guys. We're at an hour and 6 minutes.
Carolyn, where can everybody find us at?
You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify. All of that at RunTok Live. You can email us at runtalklive@gmail.com. You can find me on TikTok at Carolyn McDuff or Instagram at Carolyn M. Levenway. Chase, where can people find you?
Anywhere. Just go somewhere, type in Chaser No Pacer, and you'll probably find me. Or you can just email me at chasernopacer@gmail.com. Jake, over to you.
Same thing. Google me, The Cultural Runner. I'm there. It'll pop up. TikTok, Instagram. Those are the only 2. But still. Yeah, and you can find me, depending on when we're getting this video posted, at the Boston Marathon.
The Boston Marathon.
Monday.
Good luck, Jake. I hope it's better than 2018, and I hope that
I haven't jinxed it.
This whole thing where you wore the jacket tonight doesn't come back and haunt you.
That's the power of editing.
All right. Thank you for turning in to episode 51, the day that Jake ruined his Boston Marathon before it even happened, by wearing the jacket on this episode. We'll see y'all later.
See you later.
Deuces.